Hi, I'm Sherry Lukey, and I am a trauma specialist and creator of Fear to Freedom. In this tapping audio, I want to teach you how to tap. As you'll find on my YouTube channel, there's multiple audios to tap along with, but this is just an instruction to show you how and why tapping works. So tapping is actually, its formal name is called EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique, but it's called tapping because you literally tap on acupressure points or high concentrations of nerve endings on the upper body. You have these high concentrations all over your body, but it's just inconvenient to use them. Now, these high concentrations of nerve endings or acupressure points, when you stimulate them by tapping on them with two fingers, what it does is it sends a soothing signal through your nervous system to your amygdala, to those emotional brain centers, and it soothes them. And it says to your system that it's okay, that you're safe, which is why you're able to think about problems or talk or remember memories that are upsetting and not have your stress response, your fight, flight, and freeze response get triggered because this soothing signal is being sent through. And why that is so important is because when your subconscious, your nervous system is soothed and doesn't feel like there's a threat, it can actually begin to help you heal. And it can also give you access to information that you might not have been able to access before. Because as soon as you think about a problem or you think about a bad memory, it immediately triggers that stress response. And your subconscious's job is to keep you alive and breathing and to prevent you from experiencing pain. So it'll lock down all of that information, and healing just isn't available to you. So that's why tapping is so incredibly powerful. Now, how you do it is by doing what's called the setup statement first, and remembering that tapping is extremely forgiving, that you really can't get it wrong. You just have to do it. So, but I'm going to give you the full recipe so that you have it and understand and that you can follow along in my audios. And you don't need to remember any of this because I actually, I lead you through this so that you don't have to remember all the points. So the first part is on what's called the setup statement, and it starts on the side of the hand. And usually for this, you'll use 4 fingers. You can use 2, but 4 is just easier. And it's called the setup statement because it sets you up for healing. And it looks like this. It's you neutralize, and then you state the problem, and then you neutralize again. And what that's doing is sending this soothing signal through to those emotional brain centers. And you stay on what's called the side of the hand, and for the setup statement for 3 rounds. Then you'll move through the tapping points, and the tapping points are top of the head, and remembering that you're tapping, you're not hammering. And you can use one hand, you can use the other hand, it doesn't matter. It won't affect the outcome in any way. So you can use both hands or one hand, tapping on the top of the head. Then the eyebrow point is right where the hair on your eyebrow starts. And then side of the eye is still on the eye socket on the other end where the hair stops. And then still on the eye socket again, under the eye. And then under the nose, on the crease of the chin. And the collarbone is if you picture those bony points that are that stick out on your collarbone, and you go about a half an inch or a couple centimeters down, there's kind of a little bit of an indent and a soft spot. That's collarbone point. Then under the arm is if you went straight down from the armpit, and for women, it would be on the bra strap, and that's under the arm. And now one of the points that you won't often see on many of the other tapping audios or tapping videos out there is what's called the liver point or rib point. And you'll see when I show it to you as to probably why it's not out there, but it's a really important point, especially when you're under stress. The liver really takes a toll. So what it looks like is if you pictured where your nipples are and you went straight down onto that last rib, that's the rib point or liver point. And then wrists together. So it's right, the insides of your wrist where you would wear a watch, those come together. Now that's considered 1 round. So when you're tapping along to my audios, it'll be one continuous tapping. You're welcome to pause it partway through if you like. But you want to make sure that you are paying attention to where you're at. Now, I don't say this at the beginning of all the audios, but what's ideal to do and to make tapping really specific and measurable is to take a minute and just tune into your body and notice when you start to think about that problem or that memory, if you can feel it in your bodies. We're very stuck up in our heads, and we really need to get back into our bodies because that's the really powerful part. So if you can feel it in your body, if you can't, you just guess. And ideally, you give it a number. The 0 to 10 scale is what's used in tapping. 0, that there's nothing there, and 10, it's really difficult to sit with. So before you start the tapping audio, if you can remember to do that so that you can actually notice whether or not it's changing. Now there's 3 different things that can happen with that number. One is as the number goes down, which is exactly what you want to go for. But that's not always what happens. Sometimes the number will stay the same. And if that happens, very often the case is that you're not being specific enough. So although I have a very wide selection of tapping audios, it might not get to exactly what specifically is upsetting you, which is why you can chop and change and just add in any of your specific emotions or the problem that you're having over top of my audio. And then the other thing, of course, that can happen is that your number actually goes up. And what's happening there is that you are now allowing all of those emotions to come up, ones that you've probably been pushing down and stuffed away for a long time. And so when they finally get opened up, they can kind of get bigger before they start to go down. And what you do is you just keep tapping. So continue, rewind, redo the tapping audio or choose another audio. Now, if you're still not able to get those numbers down and to start feeling some relief, I highly recommend you reaching out to me. And you can find me through my website, which is sherrylukey.com, SherryLukey.com. Because if you're starting to find that there's some memories or problems that you're having that they're bigger than what you can handle, you need some support. So please reach out. And of course, always when you're doing this work, you're taking full responsibility for your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. I'm so excited to have you here and to bring this amazing, miraculous, powerful tool to you. And of course, the only way that it works, though, is if you use it. So please do.